Yo, we're back. You're with the role for Mischief Crew, your favorite nerds. As I like to say, we are kind of technically in the middle of episode 10, but we're taking a little sidestep to bring Kerry up to speed, along with the rest of our audience, old and new. And we're folding Kerry's character, named Ellie, into the whole history of the game, making sure that her character has had significant interactions with, different NPCs and different events that have already happened within the game. And we are in this period of time that took place right before episode 5, Trust Falls, occurred. And, yeah. Take it away, Drew, man. Man, Drew.
Aigner has emerged, run on top of the building, leapt up, and dragged this drow soldier down to the ground, effectively negating his levitation and holding him down, demanding information. Leovin has been stabbed and knocked unconscious. Zelor and Ellie are still up. The mechanical Aigner, which is an owl bear, not a robotic fighter, and the silent image of Aigner, the owl bear, not a robotic fighter, they are both still there and around, and so are the rats and the super hot sword that's still on the wooden floor.
I believe the rats went away when...
Yeah, I mean, there's like real rats around, but
Yeah.
the conjured rats have long been gone.
Yeah. So, we're no longer in initiative. You guys have captured this drow. You're surrounding him.
So there was only one drow this whole time?
Only one drow the whole time.
The whole time.
Oh my god.
So,
Wow.
real Agner and the drow are still on the roof.
No, they're on the ground.
Right next to where
everyone's-
Leovin is still, like, unconscious. Yeah.
Can I go to Zeller and kind of like tug on his sleeve a little bit and whisper like, is that who I think that is?
Zelor kind of takes a quick glance at Agner. Looks to be.
Okay. Straightens up her like clothes and tries to compose herself.
He, Zelor goes over and picks up the little stick figure and crushes it, and as it does, the illusion of Agner dissipates. And then at the same time, the sword just lifts up off the ground. I've cast Mage Hand. It is invisible, which is a wonderful feature of this class. And I've picked up that sword because Mage Hands have no sensory input and can't be burned.
Damn straight.
I mean, I can drop the spell. Like,
But it's also just cool. Like, being able to pick
Yeah.
up the sword and then bring it back to you and everything. And...
Not that you could see it, but the Mage Hand is picking it up like this. Like,
Blink.
pinky out. Super, like, it might be hot. Here.
And only Zelor knows.
It's true.
The drow, responding to Aigner, stammers. He struggles to get his words out while this guy's on his chest. Listen, I don't want no more trouble. I got left behind.
Go on.
We were told to come in here, extract the guy, and get back home base. I kind of got a little stuck.
Where's... And then this is the point where he, like, kind of closes his grip on his throat a little bit, like, just enough to, like... he can still talk, but this is, like, just a little more threatening. And he just says, "Where is Merrick?"
We just took him a little bit north. He's in a cave.
Okay, so then at this point, Ignar will pull some rope out of his pack, and he'll just hog tie him. Just straight up fucking hog tie this drow. And once he's done hog tying him, he'll fucking drag him over to where Zelor and Ellie are.
Um, does this particular sword have a
Serrated edge? Yes.
I was thinking a particular tassel at the end with a gemstone set into it. Uh, does it look anything like a Chinese short sword would look?
It does.
Interesting.
Looks kind of like
and-
Eridu's sword? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, and
Mm.
is this guy's armor fairly dark, like it's supposed to be able to easily blend in with the night?
It does.
Uh, Zelor will make his way past Agner and drop the sword so that it like, sticks into the ground near Agner and say, "You might want to take this to your friend Eridu. He may be able to answer some questions for you."
How do you know Eridu?
I'm paid to know things, but your companion On has hired me to seek out information for you. Well, for him specifically.
Well, once you say your companion on, Agnar's eyebrows just go like, like he gets this kind of shocked look, and he's just like, okay, okay, that's fine, just fine. And then he turns to Ellie and he says, and who are you? I'm sorry, that came out rude. What's your name?
Uh, I'm Ellie. At this point, the other Agna has walked out of the house and is stood next to me, and I very awkwardly shift to try and be stood in front of its name, like it's
I
rolled
ro-
across the side of it.
I rolled a perception check to see if I saw the name anyway, and I rolled a 3, so Egner's going to stay completely ignorant about the fact that the owlbear is named Egner for the moment.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Highly ignorant.
Ignorant, yeah. And he just merely looks up at that thing and just says, "What an incredible contraption you have there."
Thank you.
Wow. May I ask what the two of you, and this whole time he's still holding like the rope that's got the drow hogtied, you
Mhm.
know, but the drow, I should have said it, like I didn't do anything to his mouth or whatever, you know. It's like he could still speak if he wanted to, but he's holding them, and he just looks at the two of them and says, "May I ask what you two are doing here? And for the record, is he with you?" And he points and looks back at Laven, unconscious, back there.
That's a bit of a stretch. We met him here. And then I'm going to cast a look at the drow and go, and then pull out the key again, and put it to my forehead, and extract another memory, and
Interesting.
hand it to Agner. This might explain what you're asking. Don't want to say things out loud in front of untrustworthies.
Fair. Agner will pick up the key with that same kind of like dainty hold,
Right.
and he just like will not be too sure what to do with it, and then finally like get it right there. And that was just pretty much like the whole vision of like the whole battle that just ensued and everything. And
Yeah, and the main thing was the whole reasoning why we were looking for Merrick in the first
oh
place.
yeah, that too.
Uh,
Oh, okay. Ah, I see. Well, it seems to be in our best interest to all go find Merrick together. The only question is, what should we do about this one?
Yeah, lay him next to the other elf. He'll be fine.
We should take at least the rat elf with us.
He won't be awake yet for quite a little bit longer. He needs some rest.
Well,
You did a
Um,
fine job patching him up. Now it's just time to let him have a sleep.
she said, she starts to say, well, if you just help me, we can carry him back on the air.
Ellie, use your words. What are you trying to say?
You know what I'm trying to say?
You
She's
didn't
like blushing heavily now.
you didn't name your bear on.
No.
Right. Well, I guess if it means this much to you, fine then. Egner, you want to give me a hand with this guy?
Of course.
I'll pull rope out of my own bag and I'll try to hoist up. Oh, I already forgot the old dude's name.
Leovan.
Leovan. Try to hoist up Leovan with one side as Agner helps with the other and hoist him onto Agner's back. If for those of you in the audience who don't know which Agner I'm talking about, keep up.
Keep up, keep up.
And then I'll
sure.
tie him up so he is well secure on the back of this owlbear.
Yeah. So also what I'm going to do is Egner wants to do a couple of things. Maybe take just like a little bit of time, enough time at the house to maybe constitute just like a little short rest, you know. Because Egner wants to take the other drow that they had captured and drag him out into the forest just like a little bit of a ways, find a good decent tree, and tie him, you know, with a rope all the way around the tree on his chest, and like have his arms completely restrained, you know, and then he'll take a cloth and then bind his mouth.
So
You
while
know.
he's doing that, Zaylor has pulled out a little camping set, something with like a pot that he can boil some water in, and he starts up a small fire. Looks to boil some water, make himself a cup of tea in the hour or so that they'll be short resting. Re-ups his find familiar spell in that 10-minute period of time there, and but specifically while Agner's away, he'll turn to Ellie and say, "So, you noticed he's a bit. He's got spider legs."
Does he actually have the spider legs at this point? I thought he did.
No, he appears human.
Does he? I thought he didn't have the ring yet.
I think he does have the ring by now. Yeah.
Because I could have sworn I brought the ISCB in my third game.
Well,
Maybe Maybe I'm just on the wrong spot. That's what I was. Under
I
the
mean,
impression.
I really can't remember it, but I mean, like when he went on the whole journey to go to the Silent Sea, it's like he looked human then,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
got-
So
You got it, I think, pretty quickly after the spider thing. I've just watched them all.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
yeah. I think you're all right. I think you just got the ring in the last episode before that because I think it was my episode.
yeah,
It was episode 4.
Four.
Josh.
exactly. That's what it was.
Dang it! I
Yeah.
was under the impression he was all
Yeah.
spidery at this point.
So, well, I'm sure Zelor has something else witty he could say right now.
Okay, he'll have a different thing. Does he hold up to all the stories you've been telling me?
So far, so good. While she's saying this, she's like frantically trying to rub off the name from the side of it, but all it's doing is sort of smudging it slightly and not quite coming off. She's like, oh, why?
Zelor gives a rare smile and says, "Ellie, you're only making this more awkward. Just tell him. Tell him you idolize him and you named your owlbear after him. Won't be that weird."
No. Give up and sit down.
Tea?
Yes, please.
Right then. He makes up Ellie a cup of tea as well, and then sits in silence, summoning his owl.
The drow tied up against the tree will say,
Egner will untie the thing really quick and just say, "What?"
I said, if you let me go, I could maybe get you Merrick.
I'll do a quick insight check on that. Ugh. I rolled a 1, so I don't know how I should interpret that. Like, does he just full on believe him, or does he just immediately say like, no, I can't fucking deal with that, like, because he can't get a read on it at all. He can't tell if he's telling the truth or not.
I think it's more of a immediate distrust of anything that he might say.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so at that he'll just growl. Like he won't really say anything at all. He'll just like let out this low growl from his throat, and just like it's a sound of just disgust. Like, and then he just quickly just poof, like binds his mouth up again, and he says, "Look, we're gonna do what we're gonna go do, and might have to kill a bunch of your friends, to be completely honest. But we'll come back here, and if you're still alive, and if you're still here, then we'll talk then, okay?" And then he'll just walk away. And the other thing that Egner's going to do really quick is that he's probably going to go up to, well, he's going to go up to Ellie and Zelor, and essentially ask one of them, whichever one thinks they would be more suited to this. He's going to ask them to help him search the house for clues.
In that response, Zello will say, "Ellie's got a good eye for things. I think I've got something to deal with over here." And he's going to go over to Agner, the owlbear, and sort of shift Leovin a little bit so that he's blocking Agner's name across the side.
What a homie, Zelor. All right.
I was wondering what way that was going. Okay.
So then Egner will look at Ellie and say, "It's Ellie, right?"
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for your help. Let's go in there and keep an eye out for anything funny. There could be some sort of magical traps, perhaps. I'm not sure what these drow are capable of. So let's be careful. Let's take it slow, and leave no stone unturned. We need to find as much information as we can.
Yeah, of course. And then as they sort of go in the house, she kind of shoots a look over her shoulder at Zella. Both are kind of like a thanks a lot kind of look, as in putting me in this situation, just the two of us, but also a grateful look for hiding the name. She's very torn. How she feels right now.
Very torn, understandably.
Zelor's gonna like kind of do that whole "I caught your eye, but I'm not actually like gonna register that you that I recognize what you're saying," and then when she turns, he's just gonna smile and shake his head and kind of chuckle to himself.
She rolls her eyes and then says, "Okay, I think I know what can help." And then she taps at the side of her head and I cast Detect Magic.
Ooh, fancy. So she's got like goggles and everything. For
Well,
that?
she
Or,
has.
like, or
she
or
has,
she's actually
like,
casting the spell.
Yeah, so she's casting a spell, I guess, on her own eyes. But I was
Mhm.
considering like she has big round glasses, but also goggles on the top of her head as
Yeah.
well.
I took it as like she casts it on her glasses, and she's just looking.
Yeah.
Ah, that's cool. No,
Rather
that's a
than
really
glasses.
cool idea, because then it's like you can say like, I've got my magic sight, and then I do this, and then I can just see regularly. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a really cool idea to say you could cast it on like actual like lenses of the goggles.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Unless she has really bad eyesight, and then it's like a magic sight, and then I can't see anything.
For sure. So in that case, let's go ahead and boil it down to an investigation check. I mean, that makes sense. And have Ellie be the one doing it, because she's the one that's actively looking, and then Egner's assisting on the check.
Cheers, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, is that cool? I mean,
Who's the
Yes.
GM?
so our sorry, but
No.
just me.
To be fair, that is exactly the sort of thing we're after. So, yep.
What I was probably
just
going to do.
just
so-
called it. Just called what's happening, dude.
John, how am I doing it? Advantage?
Well, you take the 20-sided one, And sorry. Roll a d20. It's an investigate skill check. You can make it with advantage because Aigner's there, sort of helping. I don't know, like pick up tables and chairs and things.
Not great. 17
17.
with the tech magic on. So
With the 10 magic. Having a look around, you see that there are a few magical trinkets dotted about the place. There's a needle which you can see stabbed into a piece of leather. Quite a big, thick one. It's a leather working needle. It's magically enchanted. You can see that it's what's the school again? An evocation magic cast upon it. There's a shield that's just been like discarded underneath some rubble. That's got some abjuration magic cast upon it. And you can see that there is a box which is empty, which has traces of magic inside. So something magical has been stored in this box for such a long period of time that some of the magic's like seeped into the wood itself and just sort of leaves this lingering after image. That's what you see that's magical. What Ellie manages to find underneath the bedroll that's been tossed aside is a small journal. Something that Aigner hasn't spotted yet. You see that it's a personal diary of Merrick. He mostly writes entries complaining about neighbors. He doesn't have neighbors for miles, but he still thinks everyone's far too close. That the forest is great for meditation, except for all the loud animals. He sometimes goes hunting just to shut them up.
And he would probably have some disparaging things about Agner, but they're like in this loving kind of way, like one day this silly fool will learn, like.
Yeah. You'll find entries along those lines, and then one recent, as in the last entry, was from the previous night, saying that he's just sent Aigner out to go and complete a task. And there's a moment of introspection. He makes a note that he's just opened a bottle to commemorate an anniversary, and that he wanted to spend that evening alone. So he's drunkenly writing this. You can tell the scrawl is all over the place. And he notes that he's worried about this broken man that's come to his doorstep. And he thinks that he'll be able to do some good for him. But he's not sure if Aigner can do good for himself. The state that he's in. So some more drunken musings, another complaint about the neighbors, and then it just sort of like drones off. The writing gets so small and unreadable, and you can tell he probably fell asleep towards the end while writing that.
So while she's very like awkward and nervous going in, but as soon as she sort of started and getting into that kind of investigating, working things out kind of mindset, she's gone a bit quiet and a bit more like studious over things. She's put on these big like work gloves that she uses, so she's picking up the magic items, not wanting to actually touch them, and just kind of puts them on a table side really like methodically. And then with the diary, she kind of flicks through and then reads that last section and then closes it, looks up at Aigner, says, I probably shouldn't have read this. Here. It's your friend's diary.
Merrick's diary? Merrick
Yeah.
has a diary? So
Apparently.
at that, he will just like flip it open and just start hungrily like reading just like every page, and then he'll stop at the last one and take a good long while reading that, like, good like couple of 2-3 times. And he says, he was drunk last night. It's probably when they did it. Waited until he was passed out. He would have been no threat then. Ultimately, this probably bodes well. If he was not that much of a threat because he was that drunk, then they probably didn't have to do anything harmful to him to get him to cooperate. I hope he is still healthy, just captive. If he had not been drunk, and if he had been alert, oh boy, the fight that they would have had on their hands. Okay.
Well, I mean, we're looking for him too, so we could all look together.
That would be wonderful. I would appreciate any amount of support in this. Merrick is incredibly important to me.
The last of that 17 investigation skill check after this little interaction will be the sign of tracks, a slight dragging, a bunching up of the rug near the doorway, and you see some tracks through the grass that, as they start heading down the hill, get fainter. You'd need to employ more actual tracking skills, but you found direction that they're going in, and it matches what the Drow soldier told you before, that they
To the
were
north.
moving north. Yeah.
All right.
If they're done,
We're done.
Zellar's gonna do more than just shift around an elf. Once they're out of sight, he's gonna pick up that sword and walk over to the drow, and he's gonna say, "I don't know what this means, just that I know someone else who carries one. But what I really want to know is, what do your kind care for a drunk halfling who lives alone in the forest and takes care of a human?" I'm gonna pull the thing away from his mouth.
Okay. Yeah. I was planning in my head how it would sound.
Rasputin is on my other arm. I have the sword in my main hand.
It was just a simple exchange, you know? Our squad leader is a bit unhinged lately. She's kind of losing it. I don't think she's got her heart in it anymore. But she wants to win some favor, so we figured we'd take a prisoner. We heard that this Merrick guy, he's a really strong, martially capable. So we came and we took him. We've been watching him for months.
And what stands out about him?
You'll need to ask our leader. She's the one that's been taking point on this. She's obsessed with everyone that's near this area. I've no idea why, but she's the boss.
Right?
Maybe not
So-
for much longer.
Tell me, why would an elf be carrying a sword like this? Not a drow, mind you, but a proper elf.
Maybe from before my time. There's saying that. I know my commander. She's worked with a variety of folk. I think there might have been an elf under her command at one point.
In my experience, you drow seem like very insular types. I don't see much reason you have for siding with those outside your own race.
When you talk to her, I know that relations ain't gonna be much of a thing soon.
Right then. I don't much like the idea of leaving you tied here. It seems a bit cruel. So I look at it this way. I've got two choices. I either run this through you and let you bleed out, or I let you go. You forget you have a sauce, and you get as far away from here as you can. Which is it gonna be?
I ain't begging for my life.
I ain't asking you to beg. I'm asking you to choose.
Well, then I choose to see another day.
All right.
Take my freedom, if you please.
Very well. And I will in turn make one request. You don't go back to your leaders or even your people and mention anything about this. I imagine it's probably a death sentence for you anyway.
Yeah. Commander's going nuts. I swear, she's gonna defect one of these days.
Well, sounds to me like you're defecting today, so maybe you'll fight each other again.
Maybe.
With that, I'm gonna take out my axe and chop the rope off, the rope, and then
Yep.
resheath my axe, and then kind of look at the sword and go, I think I'll be hanging on to this though.
No sword. No shield. Well, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Cracks his knuckles and leaps onto the side of the tree and hand over hand, basically almost like run crawls up it until he reaches some of the higher branches and then leaps until he's out of sight.
All right. I'm gonna go over and stick the sword back in the ground where it was at earlier, and go back to kind of fussing with the elf on the back of Egner, and
Mhm.
maybe just checking him, seeing how he's doing, making sure he's still breathing and all that.
Cool.
Cool.
Right, Agner and Ellie returning to Zello.
Mm-hmm. And Egner will say, we have some tracks, we have a lead, we have some clues, and for whatever it's worth, we have this. And he'll hold up Merrick's diary.
All right. And Zeller will go, all right then. And he'll pull out the sword and he'll say, do you want to take this or should I be carrying it?
He'll unsheathe Talon's blade, and he'll say, I kind of prefer this one right now.
All right. And,
But I would like to bring that to my friend later. I appreciate that.
sounds good. I'll pull out like a blanket or something and wrap it up and hand it to Agner. And I think now we've worked in how Eridu will eventually get a Shadow Dancer sword again.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Considering right now in game,
You left it somewhere.
I did. I left it after brutally murdering Rafalin,
Mm-hmm.
and Alton picked it up, and then in the next session, Alton is going to defect and join on.
Yeah.
So
Say goodbye to that sword, but
exactly,
yeah.
and I think this session, the one that we're going to end here, is the session where. So the end of my last session would have been when I gave the mirror to On. So On has the mirror already, which I've already asked Ellie to make. And then in the end of this session in our timeline, On's going to leave the party.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to me what's happening in parallel to what's happening now.
Like I said, we're weaving it all in.
Yep.
It's like we're knitting, and we're just like weaving that in right there. Yeah. So Egner will look at the party and say, "We should be off."
Okay. Whoever wants to lead the way, make a survival check. Whoever wants to make it will make it with advantage because Aigner has got to learn this area recently.
Oh yeah, and he's got the background for it. Egner's got pretty good survival. I mean, he's got decent wisdom.
I think for the sake of traveling, Zelord wouldn't wake up the druid because he might know a thing or two. Is there anything that we could do to just like speed up the process of him becoming more conscious?
I think you could just wait a couple of hours and
Yeah.
he'll be back up with 1 hit point.
What if Egner has a healer's kit?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll say that he's out to go and, I don't know, like, hunt a particular thing and, like, not kill it, but, like, take a piece of it, like a feather from a particular bird or something that he needs to have, like, plucked out, like, proper, like, Mr. Miyagi training stuff. And so he was expecting to be out there for a while, so he had this healer's kit.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that just stabilizes a creature without
Yeah.
needing to make a check. So I guess we just need to wait.
I mean, a healer's kit works with like long-term things as well. Like if you're healing from like critical injuries and stuff, if you're using those optional rules in the DMG.
For sure.
So yeah, we'll wait a few hours. Leovin can awake and see. Because yeah, you don't want to be rocking up to a cave with some enemies while you've got an unconscious guy attached to the side, and you need to brief him while arrows are flying.
This is true.
Very true. So Leovan actually has a +7 to survival. And I'll figure out the math in a second, but as soon as he wakes up, he just groans a lot, and then he just immediately gets to laying some hands on himself, not with the paladin ability, but he's going to cast a bunch of healing spells on himself and try and get himself back up. But so he will be healthy enough to be able to lead the party, and we can use his badass survival.
Sounds good.
Oh my god. It's going to be like a 13, dude. That is the worst advantage roll I've done in a long time.
To be fair, he woke up strapped to the back of a owlbear.
It is true.
Metal. He's probably creaky and sore. He just took a good stabbing. I'm sure he's not at the top of his game yet.
Yeah, no joke, dude. No fucking joke. Alright. I'm gonna do some healing. Don't mind me while I do some math. Nice.
Oh, the old maths.
Nice.
Does he get off the owlbear?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he does.
Okay.
He's just like, nah, I don't need to get up. This is good.
He does.
So Ellie stood sort of close-ish to it, watches him sort of slide down, and like all cover of the name just been gone.
Can I do a quick perception check for Egner?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so that's going to be like 17. So he probably sees it. And he'll just make a interesting little grunt sound like, huh. And he won't mention it and just keep on going.
Ellie just keeps her eyes like straight forward, not looking at anyone.
Don't acknowledge. Don't
Yeah.
acknowledge.
Right. You guys move through the woods. What was the survival check for?
It's going to be, it was only 13.
It was 13, and that was with advantage.
That was with advantage, I know. It's sad. It's really sad. I rolled like a 2 and a 6, man. It sucks.
So what Leovin manages to do is move you guys through the woods. You can see through the thicket this cave. You can see that there's some broken branches suggesting that someone's been dragged through here recently. But in the trees, hovering over you, Leovin has unfortunately led you in very close proximity to a large panther-like being. All 6 of its paws, claws out, grasping onto these branches. And the first you see of it is when this glob of drool drops from its mouth onto Aigner's shoulder.
Wow. Leovin's just been fucking up this game, dude. He's been just fucking up. I had such high hopes for this character, and he's like not doing well right now. He can try and help though. If he has a way to react, he can possibly really help this situation.
Yeah. I'll allow that. Laven got you into this situation. Let's see if we can get you out before we roll for initiative.
All right, so he looks upward and he just hisses like in anger and surprise. And then he just like flings his hands upward like lickety split, and he casts the spell. Because you said this guy was up in a tree, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's hella other trees around.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna cast web, and he will fill that whole area with a 20-foot cube, starting on the point right in front of this crazy panther guy. So yeah, 20-foot cube of webs just spreads out and just sticks to all the trees and the canopy, and hopefully restrains this guy. So each creature that starts his turn in the webs or that enters them must make a dexterity saving throw, and if you fail, you're restrained as long as you remain in the webs or until you break free.
I got a 13.
My spell save DC is 15 because I got a high wisdom and shit. Leovin actually did something good.
So he's restrained, and because I don't want to not save Merrick before the end of the episode, that is the Displacer Beast held in place by these webs for the foreseeable. Yeah, the web just explodes around this thing, catches it entirely by surprise, and you get this jaguar growl as it's stuck in place. These two barbed tentacles rising up and start trying to rip at the webs, and as they do, they get tangled up and caught.
Oh, man.
As well, making it even more frustrated, struggling with the branches. And as the branches are bowing up and down, as it's struggling more and more, eventually they snap. It tumbles down onto the ground, and the branches get caught up inside of its grasp, its legs, the tentacles wrapping around itself. It's now basically this big ball of angry panther tentacle webs and sticks.
It's like a cocoon of angry panther. So Leoven will obviously look at the rest of the party and say, "Run!"
The cave is before you. You charge through. Some snakes hiss as you push past them through the low thicket and bushes. Some of them seem very venomous and poisonous, but Leoven manages to sort of eyeball them as they're running past, and they just eat back.
He'll give them a hiss.
Yeah. You charge to the cave entrance, and as you get there, you see that it's a narrow passageway winding down. Aigner will remember that Merrick mentioned that there were quite a few old, badger and wolf dens around here that sometimes get co-opted by bandits that operate from the area. He tends to clear them out as quick as he can. But it seems that the drow have set up shop in here.
Word.
When we are running, I tell Ellie, well, I guess he has his uses after all.
Yep.
And since we're in a cave, it's probably time for me to stealth again, because that's what rogues do.
So who's going first? Because it's only wide enough for you to go one at a time. It is wide enough just for the owlbear to get through.
I'm gonna, not crouch because I don't need to. Let Rasputin fly off of my arm and say, "I'll go ahead." He'll hoot if there's any problems.
So if there are problems, this is now Aigner speaking. If there are problems, we should probably just send the battering ram over there, and he'll point at the owlbear.
Mm-hmm.
If that thing can fit through, if it just charges headlong, it'll knock down and decimate anything in its path.
But if we're up against an entire contingency of drow, we could find ourselves way in over our heads real fast.
Yeah, which is why you should take care not to betray your position at all. If it seems like there are too many forces, come back out here, and we'll send the battering ram in.
Oh, yes, of course. I misunderstood. I thought you were saying we send the battery ram in first.
No, no. Check out the situation.
No, of course. That sounds like a very solid plan. I want to make my stealthy stealth. It's not great. It's a 12.
Not great.
So then I turn and start stomping away. Look at what I can do. Boom, 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 boom. They'll never see me coming.
So Zeller, in fact, will be padding very lightly. His feet sort of like scooting to give him a wide stance, treading very firmly but quietly into the soft rock making up this cave. He's using his hands to help guide himself down here while he's blocking off the tunnel, and so very obviously someone's looking up the tunnel. It's very, very quiet. Eventually coming to an intersection, stopping himself. The skittering of a small coven of badgers as it crosses the intersection in front of him. They pay no notice to him at all. Further ahead, he can smell the burning wood of a fire. There's also a small amount of smoke starting to drift up from that direction. The intersection where the badgers came from and to, that bit of the tunnel, you can smell nothing but earth.
Alright. I guess I will go back and relay the information, and not gonna lie, I was doing a terrible job listening.
It's okay.
So, it's alright. There's an intersection. You could have gone straight ahead, and there's potentially a fire at the end of this. You can smell it, and there's smoke. But there was also an intersection crossing your path where badgers went across, and you're just smelling this earthy smell from either direction.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't tell them that then. I'll go closer to the fire
All right.
section.
You get closer to the fire, and as you approach the end of this bit of tunnel, you then see a dark figure pass in front of where the tunnel ends up. One of these drow soldiers has just marched past in full armor. Another one across the room is there stirring at a massive pot. You can see the light from this fire illuminating the edges of this cave, where it expands out larger. There's a massive column where a stalagmite and a stalactite have joined together. There's a couple of tiers, levels in this room, and you see that there is a halfling tied up to a stalagmite, and he's currently got a bag over his head. Another soldier passes in front of the hole, stops for a moment, then stoops down, his face getting very close to yours. He's spotted you.
Alright. I guess I'll do the only sensible thing and try to bury my axe in his face.
Okay.
Let me see if that's the only sensible thing. I mean, I've got spells, but I think that might be the most sensible opportunity. Opportunity.
Look at this guy with his character sheet on his phone.
Yeah,
what is
I'm
he?
trying to see if I want to do one of these spells.
What is he, a millennial?
I mean, I was going to use it on my Surface, but then, my Surface is like, no.
No. I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get a sneak attack, but I'll get a
Yes,
axe in the face
yeah,
attack.
some kind of attack.
Nope, I'll get a 1.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Well, quickly roll for initiative first.
Okay.
Let's have everyone roll for initiative, because you'll be able to hear shouts from down the tunnel.
You'll also hear a squawk because that's what I told you my owl would do.
Yep.
Just for ease, is it cool if like Leovan and Agner go on the same turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So they got 18.
Nice.
A 7.
I got a 13, and I got a 21 for my bird, for Monsieur Rasputin.
Cool. This is with the exception of Kyle, it's a near inversion of the initiatives that we had last time. I mean,
Interesting.
Ace has received the exact same initiative number, but
I rolled a
not
10.
One of the last. Yeah.
I have rolled 3 10s for initiative rolls in 2 combats. And a 20.
So, Levin and Aigner.
Okay, here is what Leovan is going to do. Is that actually a 3rd level spell? Yeah. Let me read this really quick. Okay, this is kind of cool. Alright, Leovin's going to cast Gaseous Form and turn himself into a mist cloud. And as his body and his face just like starts to kind of like disintegrate into mist, he says with his raspy voice, "I will still be here." And he turns into mist, and he's just ready to like kind of fly through and follow Agner as this thing of mist. And then Agner is gonna say, "Looks like I'm the battering ram," and he'll, put his shield up, and he'll just start to charge right into the thing.
Okay. The tunnel system is only 60 feet long, so you could take the dash action and get to exactly where Zelor is.
Okay. He's gonna do that, and
Alright.
and then Leovin's just gonna follow as far as he can.
Yeah, gaseous form slows you right down, I think. It's
Oh
like 10
god,
feet
it's like
away.
10 feet. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, he's got resistance to non-magical damage, so that's a big deal.
So the old man elf goes,
Yeah.
I'll help.
I'll help. Shh, I'm gas.
I'll help.
He's on his
in 10
little
minutes.
like mobility scooter.
Oh yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't want to get knocked down immediately again, dude, honestly. So he's a gaseous form, and he's, I don't know.
I love his logic. Can't
Yeah.
get knocked on your ass if you don't have an ass.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, realistically though, what he probably would have done is like, actually, he probably would have used his move action while he was still an elf, and
Yeah, so
gotten
running
further
down
in.
the tunnel and then like
Yeah,
kept running until he had no body left.
exactly. So he's just kind of like, I don't know, midway-ish through the tunnel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can go halfway. Zelor, now you get to bury your axe into his face.
No, I don't. Roll a 1.
Oh, well, don't have extra attack or anything? No?
Nope. Just have
Well,
one attack, and I
yeah.
rolled a 1 on it.
That
Shit.
sucks.
But I can
Ooh.
use
Not
my
Ellie.
bonus action to do the dodge effect. And what? I mean, I legitimately rolled a 1. What bad thing is going to happen to me? It's a critical fumble, man. If I don't get punished for my lack of luck, this isn't a game.
Okay. Alright. Roll me a d6.
I need to get these 6s out. Ooh, this one's from Munchkin. This will be good.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as you swing with your axe in this tight space, it's hard to get a good swing going. Estrada immediately grabs your axe, twists, and it comes out of your hand. He now has it, and then he conks you on the front of your head with the back end of the axe. Does 2 points of damage.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
I don't. Give me it back.
Yeah, so he's got the axe. You're able to snatch it back off him if you want to on your turn.
Probably be my next turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I told him I don't like that. Give me it back. So
He will not respond. Instead, you notice that the rest of the drow are all like looking up and realizing that there's something going on at one of the tunnels. Now it's Ellie.
Alright.
I dash after Agnes.
All right.
And the bear does as well.
So we
I will
now
be
have.
right back. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, you guys
so
do your thing, but I'll be back.
We've got Zelor right at the front of this tunnel, and then Aigner immediately behind, followed by Ellie and Mechanical Aigner, who have run through this gas cloud, which is Leoben.
That's him.
Yep. And now, because I rolled a 1, it's my initiative. So with this axe, he's going to try and hit. What's his face? Not Eridu.
Zelor.
Well, I rolled a 4, so whatever
Wow.
Zelor's got for his armor is definitely going to miss.
Yeah.
So yeah, once he misses, the others all charge towards the hole. One of them throwing their hand forward, and everything becomes enveloped in this blanket of darkness.
Ooh, of course. Of course.
So casting the darkness spell from exactly where Zelor stands, 20 feet away from that. So yeah, big blanket of darkness. Ain't it great?
Lovely.
Aigner and Leoven. I imagine Leoven in gaseous form is just moving ever so slowly closer.
Yeah, so he'll go like 20 feet to use both of his actions. you
Yeah,
know,
it's moving his.
to do that. So he'll go 20 feet closer, so he's maybe getting a little closer to the mouth of it. And Egner is just going to... Oh, God, darkness. Darkness. And Egner doesn't have blind sight yet, so...
No.
But he does have Talon's Blade.
He does. Zelor is still blocking the end of the tunnel.
For sure, for sure. Gosh, hold on. I need to look up Talon's Blade really quick if I can. Got it right here. So he's gonna go up until he, like, kinda can... He's gonna try... Okay, so he's gonna go up to where he's right behind Zelor, you know, where he just feels like he can't go up any further because Zelor's right there. And then he'll take out Talon's Blade and plunge it into the ground and use its effect to use the Hallow Daylight option. Bright light fills the area. Magical darkness created by spells of a lower level than the slot you use to cast the spell can't extinguish the light. So, I don't know, I'm going to leave it up to you as far as, like, how those two interact, you know? But
Yeah, I'm
know.
going to say basically Talon's Blade cancels it out because it's the Drow innate spell casting. It's as low as you can get in terms of like
for sure.
spell casting level. So
Definitely.
yeah.
So,
So he creates his magical darkness, and I would say like because this is all sort of happening contiguously, like instinctively straight away dismisses it. Just like a blink, you're blind. Blink, you can see.
yeah, and it's that bright, just like daylight, and it's a 60-foot radius. So it's like, it's
Bigger
huge.
than the darkness.
Yeah, bigger than the darkness. Like, I don't know, probably encompassing the whole chamber that we're just about to.
Yeah, in
come
fact,
into.
well, yeah. So, yeah, all of them shield their eyes. You can tell that they're blinded slightly by this. So it will trigger their sunlight sensitivity. Yeah, Laven did the dash move forward. So now we're back on Zelor. Still blocking the tunnel. There's a drow right in front of you, but he's now shielding his eyes, slightly blinded.
Well, I'm gonna take my axe from him.
Do it. Give me a your choice of either strength athletics or sleight of hand.
Sleight of
Dexterity.
hand.
Oh,
That'd be
sleight of
That's
hand.
awesome.
And I'm gonna do it all with advantage, right? Because you got the whole.
Sunlight sensitivity?
Yep.
My or does he make the
And he just rolled
counterattack?
a 5 anyway, so
It,
Uh,
mine's not much better actually. Mine's a 7 in total.
Ooh.
uh,
Wow.
my total is 5.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Oh wow.
you do manage to wrest it from him. Like the two of you are fighting over it. He doesn't let go at first, but then Zello does something to quickly distract him and like quickly. poke
He
him.
like just punches him in the jaw. Just gives him, like, it's like not really hard, just like a little bop on the jaw, the kind that makes you go, oh, and like kind of like more you're gonna defend against it than it's gonna actually hurt you.
Yeah. So yeah, he reels back, lets go of the axe, and stumbles backwards just a couple of feet, shielding his eyes. And you can see him moving his arms in front of him, trying to find where you are.
Well, in that case, if he seems to be kind of blinded, I'm gonna kind of try to scoot past him toward the what the heck is his name again?
Merrick.
Merrick.
Merrick
Oh,
Oxhead.
Wallster. Yeah, I'm gonna try to scoot past him and go towards Merrick.
Okay. Yeah, you'll be able to do so. He's far enough away that it's not going to trigger an attack of opportunity. So you move over to where Merrick is. He's, like I say, tied up on a stalagmite, which is sticking up out of the ground. He's just up a few small steps, and he's bound with a sack over his head.
Cool.
You can get right up to him this turn.
Yep, that's what I'll do, and then I will spend my bonus action to go ahead and do the not disengage. What is it? Dodge.
Dodge.
Mm, mm, mm.
All right, Ellie.
Okay.
Igna's still technically in front of you.
Okay.
And behind.
Hmm. So there's like absolutely no way of even just squeezing past.
Ellie will be able to squeeze past. The other Igna won't be able to squeeze past.
Okay. Right. So even though it's like the heat of battle, she's just like,
Excuse me.
1 second, and then there's this moment where they pass pressed like face to face down this tiny corridor, and she's just like, oh, trying not to look at him. She's like, I'm sorry, just, thank you, and then runs up into the room.
And Egner will growl, like he won't even like try and be polite or anything. He'll just growl and say like, just go.
Oh. And then, so there's a guy that's just in the doorway, kind of.
Zelor?
Well,
Or
that
no,
was,
the drow, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's just outside of the exit from this cave.
Don't know, there's too many people in here to be trying to kill him. We should be trying to like just grab him and get out. So
It's
what
like I
kind
had
of?
a similar plan.
Yeah. How is this guy like bound?
He's tied using rope. There is chain augmenting it. You can see that there's chain wrapped around the rope, as if they were more concerned about him untying the knot
Okay.
than breaking the rope.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like a hassle to get him out.
Like I said, it's chains sort of tied around the knot to make it more difficult to untie.
But not to
The chain doesn't go all the way around him,
Mm-hmm.
so you could just cut the ropes.
Mm-hmm. You get on the back side of it and just try and slice it as quick as possible.
Yeah. I was gonna do something more interesting.
Oh, word.
Do it.
I was gonna cast reduce on him, so we could just like pull him out. Over the shoulder.
That's so brilliant. That is
more interesting.
That is so brilliant.
Does he count as an unwilling creature?
Well,
Unconscious?
if you wait, is he unconscious?
If
Or
that will
you
help
can't-
the reduce spell happen, then yes.
Yeah, basically. If he's unwilling, he takes a con save.
He's just snoring loudly in the corner. It's not like they knocked him out. He just got bored and fell asleep. Maybe they've
That
kept
sounds
him
more like
drunk, and so he's been like,
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you're unconscious, you can't really have a will about, whether or not that spell. Like, yeah, I don't think you get the con save if you're asleep. That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me
So it's a 30-foot range.
to not have that save.
So
So yeah, you'll be able to reach that so long as you just basically just step out the tunnel, and
okay.
you'll be able to reach that.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm supposed to channel it through like my tools, so a tool in my hand and point it. Seems weird, but
It's a sonic screwdriver, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
yeah.
Kyle, you made a Doctor Who reference. Holy cow.
I know. I'm capable. Look at me, Asa. I am a capable nerd.
Yeah, I mean, he basically just gets halved in size.
yeah. It's already a halfling, right? So
No, it's a quarterling.
tiny. So I'll do that, and I'll just kind of shout to Zella, like, "Pick it up, let's go."
In code.
I don't have time to work that out right now.
Ik pay imhe aune.
And she makes some bad attempt at thieves' cant, and then just shakes her head and says, "Pick him up."
Right. Okay, that'll do.
Right. The drow, two of them will leap over one of the small collections of rocks on the floor, swords out, and go to slash down on Zelor, trying to stop him and force Asa to make a new character for the next session.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
I rolled a 1 and then a 6.
Nice.
So the first one swings, and Zelor ducks and kicks him in the shin. Now
And
he's
then
just kind of bouncing around holding his leg.
So he's bouncing around, holding his leg. He drops his sword, in fact, because he rolled a natural 1. The other one rolled a 6. That's an 11 in total. No, it's not. It's a 10 in total.
Yeah, that'll definitely miss. Zelor is able to duck behind a stalactite.
Sweet.
Which one comes up? Stalactite?
Stalagmite.
Yeah, I
Mite
duck behind one of those.
Roof. Stalactite holds tight to the roof.
Okay.
This is where I find out that I've been using that wrong my entire life, and that it doesn't work. But that's how I was taught to remember it. Okay, so they've run over to you. There's these two running around to the tunnel entrance where Ellie is. Well, I'll say other two. One of them was already there, but he's blinded, and they missed anyway. But these should be made with disadvantage because of the sunlight. So, against Ellie, disadvantage. Oh, a natural 20 and then a 12.
Oof.
Yeah, so it's with disadvantage.
Uh-huh.
That 12 is a 16.
I only have 14, so.
And the next one, again, that's a 12 plus 4, that's 16. So 2 16s to hit. So these two drow rush up towards Ellie and bring the swords up against her, slashing across her chest, and you get 10 piercing damage total.
That's fine.
And then it's Aigner and Leovin. Leovin is now 10 feet from the exit to this tunnel. He is, in fact, occupying the exact same space as Aigner.
Interesting.
Right this very second.
Yeah, so Aigner's going to be creeped out by that. And he's going to be really creeped out and feel like this weird chill and be like, ugh. And then Leovin's just going to, he's going to go the next 20 feet so that he gets within the chamber. And, the chamber starts to, fill up with the mistiness. And, let me see how I can end that.
I think with Gash's form, you just decide to drop it.
Yeah, I'll.
There
Yeah,
isn't
because
an-
it's a concentration. I can just drop my concentration on the spell. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so he won't do that quite yet. He'll do that like at the beginning of his next turn. Essentially, he's just going to do the movement right now, and then Agner is going to. I don't know. It's like so Ellie's in front of him, and then Zelor's in front of Ellie, or did Zelor get into the chamber a little more? Is it just a cluster right at the entrance right now?
There's a cluster with two drow right at the entrance in front of Ellie, but Zelor's inside the chamber with Merrick.
Yeah. By the way, Merrick is like 1.5 feet and weighs like 5 to 10 pounds, according to the way that math works or whatever. He's a tiny creature. Like literally, his size category is now tiny. It's it's so funny.
He's the size of a house cat.
Yeah, seriously. So Agner will try and, I don't know, squeeze past Ellie in the same way that Ellie just squeezed past him in an even more awkward fashion, probably. But once he gets in front, then he'll just have Talon's blade at the ready, have this one at the ready, and he's just going to try and do this kind of attacking dealio. So are they still shielding their eyes or and everything, or is it like just gonna be normal attacks? Oh, okay.
It's normal attacks mechanically, but yeah, they get disadvantage on all their attack rolls.
Oh, I see. It's not like I get advantage.
Unfortunately not.
Okay, so that one is going to be. Okay, it's still the magic sword. So that's gonna be 21 to AC.
Okay, yep, definitely hits.
Alright, so that is going to be 9 slashing damage on the one on the right, and then I'll do 1 attack to the guy on the left, and that will be a 12 to his AC.
Doesn't hit.
Okay, so then he's going to use his Shield Master ability as a bonus action to try and whack the left one with his shield and try and knock him prone. So that's going to be opposed athletics checks.
9.
Dude, I got like 23, son. 23.
Dude.
So I just fucking whap him like right upside the head, and he just falls over prone. The one on the left. And then I'm actively engaging the one
On the right that you've
on the right.
taken damage with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking damage from.
Yeah.
And it turns out, according to chat, Kerry is just a lich. We've worked it out.
What?
Well, now that we have discovered that,
Yep.
we're all going to become.
Yep.
that makes
Okay,
sense.
so next it is Zelor.
All right. Well, since the halfling is now a quarterling, I'm going to pick him up
Yep.
by the scruff of his shirt. Just pick him up with my left hand. Sheathe my axe in my right, with my right hand, and just use that. Am I already? Oh yeah, they're engaged with me, so I'm going to disengage as my bonus action, and then just make for that entranceway, get behind Agner as best I can.
Nice.
All right. This will be the last round of initiative combat. So, Ellie, what will be your parting thing that you do?
Just try and leave.
Yeah, Agner will encourage that and say, "It's time to fall back. Fall back."
I've got a cool idea. It's going to require a table and a little bit of bending the rules as to what is considered a door.
I'm curious.
I mean, dude, honestly, I had something cool in mind for Leovan. Like, I was thinking that the whole point of Leovan getting the gaseous form, getting out there,
Well,
is
if
that
Leovin's got something to do, let's let him do something, because he hasn't done shit so
Yeah,
far.
exactly,
No,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm cool with the rest of this being like a narrative base rather than.
For sure.
So yeah, go for it.
All right, so essentially, I mean, Agner, and, the way Agner is, whenever there's a combat situation, he's shouting the orders, So when it's like Ellie's turn, he'll just say, "Fall back, it's time to fall back, we have Merrick, go, go, go. And then the lot of them will, since the drow are still like, the lot of them will be able to like sneak past. And then Leovan condenses from his gaseous form, so now he's at the entrance of the chamber. He runs his way, so he's the last one in the whole line of peeps. And about when they get like halfway through the tunnel, he is going to turn back, and he is going to cast a spell. He is going to cast... Oh, he doesn't have that slot. He's going to cast Earth Tremor at a 2nd level slot. And he's just going to try and pump it up as much as he can and just cause enough tremors in this section of the tunnel to just get a little bit of rock falling action and just totally like try and plug it up as much as he can. And then if that's not enough, he also has the cantrip Mold Earth.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I would like to hasten to add, just in case it comes up later, that I specifically... Theala is not there. She's already got what she needs from Merrick and has moved on. So you're not going to cause any continuity errors with like...
I didn't think that Theala was there.
I think I'm probably the only one who made
Yeah.
a guess that was Theala in the first place.
Yeah, I kind
So-
of picked up on it as well.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's absolutely cool. So
Yeah.
the tunnel collapses in. They're now all trapped in there.
And it's permanently daylight.
Yeah.
How frustrating for them.
They can get a tan. So you guys rush out of there and return Merrick to his home. That evening, he browses. I'd assume Aigna would get a fire going and maybe some broth or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. And one of the first things he'll do is just give the diary back to Merrick and just say like, I imagine you'll be wanting this one back. And he won't even try and like say anything more or acknowledge the fact that he'd read through the whole thing or whatever. He just said, I imagine you'll be wanting this one back.
He takes it, nods, and then whacks you on top of the head. You do it.
What? What?
I sent you out the other night.
Oh.
I told you to go and get some. Did you get it?
Yes, of course I did. Have I ever
Good.
have you ever failed before? Come on.
Good lad. Right, and then he tosses the diary to the side. Give us some grub. Who are these lot?
They are my new friends, I suppose. They were there at the right place at the right time. By the way, I have to tell you, your place is a little trashed right now. It wasn't us, it was them, obviously. I mean, you were there as well, but there was a spare drow there that we had to deal with, and these two, they rose to the occasion. They were looking for you as well for whatever reason. I don't quite know yet, but they helped me find you. They helped me save you. So I can confidently say that they are my friends now.
As a
Slightly.
never attentive player, it occurs to me I don't actually know why we were looking for him either.
Well, you were just told by whomever.
Okay.
So he struggles to get to his feet, grabs a stick that he seems to use to walk with, and then again whacks Aigna on the head. 3.
3?
He then points to Zelor, to Ellie, and to Leovan.
Oh, well, you see, that one wasn't much help. 2 of us did something. He just fell over.
I resent that. I resent that very much.
I thank you all very much for volunteering to tidy up the place. Do it.
Can I start? I have mending. Can I start with trying to like piece together the hole that I made in the side of his house? Like picking up bits to fit in, like kind of because you don't get a lot of space with it, but kind of jigsawing it back together again.
Is he still a quarterling?
For as long as Ellie wants to concentrate on that, up to like an hour, I think.
I think it's only a minute.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Oh, it's a minute.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah. No, it'll be back to his halfling self.
All right.
But he will show his appreciation for what Ellie is doing by not shouting at her specifically. But
Well-
he'll invite everyone round the fire pit to get some broth, and then he will sit and manage the rest of you putting his house back together.
Can I, in this time, very sort of awkwardly and nervously again, get out my notebook and go over to Agner and say, would you mind maybe giving me your autograph? It's my brother. He's a fan. He's a bit.
A fan of me?
Yeah.
Very well then. Sorry,
Um,
I'm just not used to this kind of thing.
This is one of the darker moments for Agner. Next to him going blind, he's like in a real state of like self-loathing right now.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So he just kind of grumbles a little bit, and he just grabs the book, and you know everything about his movements are like so awkward, where it's like he's like never been asked to do anything like this before, so he's not sure how it goes or what the etiquette is or where he should write it or how big he should write it, or like he just has no idea what he's doing, and it's obvious. So he grabs it and he just kind of growls and grumbles, and he's like, and then when he gives it back to you, it's like it's the least elegant autograph ever. It's like no curvy lines or anything. It's just like E I, like huge block letters, and like enormous block letter, like almost childish looking autograph.
And we are going to
I want to
end.
say a thing.
Go on.
Just for more character stuff.
Yeah.
In the whole time this is happening, Zelor and Merrick are like in the midst of a shouting fest. Like Zelor's like, "Look, I ain't one of your apprentices. You can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna clean this up. How I'm gonna clean it up. That's what you get from me."
He will, in fact, like try and go nose to nose. Like he'll be looking up at you and yelling and shaking his stick, and
They're just going right at each other. It's
I like that. It's a good image. Just as we're wrapping up, Ellie, when she goes out later that night to just go and check on the Aigner bot, a raven will swoop down from the sky, a helix pattern, land on top of her construct, squawk once, and then open its mouth and relay a message in common from Comedes, her mentor.
Nice.
And we're going to end the session there.
Oh, we don't hear the message. It's a cliffhanger. Okay.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming and joining us for this stream. I saw that we had quite a few people towards the end there. Obviously missing the beginning of it, but hopefully you picked up some context clues.
thanks to those who joined in chat. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm just seeing it now. What an interesting exchange.
So next session, if memory serves, I'm willing to be correct on this. Next session will be another one of these interludes where we level up characters again to again a yet more interesting level of ability. see where the paths have moved on to, where the story sort of unravels from there, and we'll eventually sync up, and Kyle will take back over.
All right.
You know it.
But yeah, I think that's us for
All
the
right,
evening. Thank you very
that's
much
it.
for joining us.
Thanks so
Good night.
much for joining us. Good night. We'll see you later.
Bye.